Hey guys, Radburn here. The objective for this video is to quickly teach you how to make all the gold in the game in the shortest amount of time, and also maintain your legitimacy and honor. First off, I'm going to be discussing what players are looking for in terms of selling potential and where to sell it. Also, what items do you sell to vendors, and lastly, how to make a decent wage from deconstruction. In ESO, almost every single item in the game that drops from an enemy has a gold value. However, that does not define its worth. Supply and demand is what economics is all about in the real world, and it's no different in ESO. If you follow the steps that I go over in this quick guide, you can be riding your tricked out pony in no time. The character that you're watching is my bow and arrow Adric Spear Templar. If you are interested in this build, you can check it out on my channel. I have an in-depth video going over skills and playstyles. Alright, moving on to what you came here for. Let's first talk about what items are in demand. What everything in this game comes down to is crafting. Almost every single item that is dropped in the game, not including weapons and armor, are crafting materials. And then even the weapons and armor that do drop can be turned into crafting materials. Crafting your own wares is a huge part of this game because it will save you money in the long run. But while people are leveling it, many are willing to pay premium gold for your assistance in acquiring what they will need. I will not be discussing every individual material used in crafting, but you can easily gauge what those are very quickly in-game by looking at your own crafting menus. We're going to start out basic and talk about raw materials first. A raw material is one that's taken directly from the world, or Nirn, and has yet to be refined into a crafting material. These are often plentiful and inexpensive. A full stack of raw materials is 100 and will sell to a vendor for 400 gold. An example of a raw material is rough maple. A refined material is the second stage of a raw material. It is one that a crafter has made ready for use in crafting. An example of a refined material is sanded maple. A full stack is 100 and will sell to a vendor for 400 gold. However, a full stack of refined will sell for higher to another player. Refining raw materials is where I see the most average gain in potential gold. When you acquire a mass amount of raw material and refine all of it, you will receive the more rare components that are then used for making items. These can be anything from the style material, gems for traits, and rare components used for upgrading the quality of items. It is the upgrade materials that will sell for the most gold, aside from the refined product itself. Oftentimes, if I see someone in the zone chat selling a stack of raw material, I will offer them 500 gold for the full stack. This is 100 more gold than they'd get from a vendor, and if it is their only offer, they'll most likely take it. I can quite often get people to accept 500 gold, and when you receive the raw materials, you can then refine them and sell the products. On average, you will receive anywhere from 70 to 90 refined items, as well as anything else that chance through your way. There are skills that will enhance your extraction chances and increase your odds of finding rare upgraded materials. After extraction, you can take the materials and throw them in your bank. I prefer to try to sell my items in bulk rather than sitting in town several times a day asking for buyers to buy small amounts of items. The skills to help you with extraction are unraveling, metal extraction, and wood extraction. I'd highly suggest investing in all three. I will not be going over enchantments because I feel the only runes that are worth selling are the aspect runes. Those are the ones that govern an enchantment's quality. They're not as uncommon as you'd be led to believe, and they are often sought after. Recently, I have seen the more rare ones selling for several hundred gold apiece. How I accrue most of my gold in-game is by the simple act of farming and grinding. I do this quite frequently to keep gold lining my pockets, as well as to keep my gear in tip-top shape by finding some more rare items that I cannot craft yet. This is just the simple act of going to an area that's highly populated with hostile NPCs that drop golden items. When you arrive at said place, you kill as many as possible and loot everything that you can. Remember that almost every item in the game has a gold value and is able to be refined to crafting materials. Having auto loot enabled will speed this process a lot in the long run. The only drawback to grinding and farming like this is that you'll usually outlevel the areas that you are in if you do it for too long. I often run into this problem and will end up being too high level for the areas I'm currently trying to quest in. For some reason, ZeniMax decided to make mobs experience gain very high in this game, and it will give you more experience per hour than questing alone, in most cases. I would recommend getting the first 2 bag upgrades on your character, as well as some form of AoE damaging ability before you start grinding. Another step to take that will help you in the process is to make a mule character. This is a character that just holds items and will usually just remain in town to sell the items he collects at a later date. I would also have to recommend the first couple of bag upgrades for this character as well, because the bank is shared across all characters on your account. Transferring items between them will be very simple. I keep full stacks of crafting materials and items that don't usually stack, such as racial motifs, all on my mule. This way my bank is as empty as possible. I also have a character that will hold all of my enchanting runes, since there are so many individual ones in this game, and they will also take up nearly all your bank if you let them. After a good grinding session, I'll sort out what I think will sell and what will not. If you find any rare items, they will usually sell fairly quickly if they're going to sell at all. If you find that you cannot sell these items, go ahead and break them down. With the skills you have invested in extraction, you hold a pretty good chance of finding the more rare upgrade materials. These items will usually sell for about the same or even more than you could sell that item for. After putting the items to sell in our bank, we will head immediately over to the vendors and crafting stations. I will sell any white or plain items provided they have no research potential or extraction benefits. This is where we will see the steady influx of gold. White items, whether it be a weapon or armor, will sell for a fairly hefty amount, especially when you find quite a few of them. After selling our white items, we'll then head over to the crafting stations and begin breaking down any green or blue items that we have kept. This will yield the most experience towards your crafting skills, as well as the most materials per item broken down. Finally, when all is said and done, we will take the finished products and throw it all in our bank. With a fresh and clean inventory, we set out to fill it up again. You can repeat this process as much as you like, and in a little bit of time you will see that it can provide you with the most gold in the most efficient amount of time. This is the only legitimate way the game designers intended us to make an income in ESO, so aside from botting, farming, duping, and scamming, have some fun finding the good loot. This is Raverin, thanks for watching, and please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. I have some other useful guide videos on my channel as well. Thank you.